Nike hiking shoes.
Nike hiking.
Yeah,
I feel like we
no.
should tell people where we're at. Like for people that
Location?
don't, yeah, like for
Oh,
people that don't know where this
sure.
is in Las Vegas.
Uh-huh. Hi, people. We're at Exploration Peak Park. We're looking at an amazing view of the city. Planes flying over. Nice little, like, fog. Different feel for Vegas. Quite beautiful.
Yeah,
This is a
definitely
great
different.
park. Your favorite park, would you say?
My favorite park. I come here a lot.
Yeah, true. Yeah, the grass is very well kept.
Yeah.
Very lush.
So we came across an interesting book.
That we did. That we did. He talks about the Illuminati, the well-known Illuminati, and
Does it though? Well, I don't know. I've only read the first chapter.
same.
It's like strictly about the Illuminati.
No, it's based from the Illuminati's understanding. Really, it's like a principle. It's basically math. It originated from Pythagoras. He created the Pythagoras theorem, and he was the first. He was like the founder of the Illuminati. And what Illuminati stands for is illumination, the illuminated ones, and or enlightened ones. And it's really just a series of understandings, technology, mathematic equations that explain the universe. And we now have proven there's scientific proof that we live in a simulation. And so it shares the different understandings that basically how you can understand all the, I don't want to say secrets, but the theories of the universe makes it really kind of makes sense of them, and it gives you technology that helps you to go on your day-to-day journey through life. So it's just knowledge, very knowledge basic. It's a little bit controversial, and the book is called The God Game, and basically the point of it is to become one with God, or even become God, they say. But I kind of challenge that, where I don't really believe in the whole God complex. But I do believe in one consciousness, one overall consciousness. The world we live in is very competitive. It's very dog eat dog world. And so I think if you can gain knowledge, I think knowledge is power. It's up to you what you do with the knowledge, great power, great knowledge comes great responsibility. But for me, I enjoy learning, and I enjoy
Okay.
knowing what is out there that may be gate kept by from most people. And I do believe that the Illuminati overall, from the foundation, is not necessarily bad. It's not meant to be bad. I think that certain people have hijacked it, and it's kind of gotten this rap that it is bad, and it's the whole, that's the 1% is the Illuminati, the secret society.
I guess my brain believed that Illuminati was bad, and that's just how I was raised. And maybe not even raised. It's just something that you hear as you get older. I don't know.
What
Someone talks about the Illuminati at some point, and
they
you're like,
mentioned that from Albert Einstein, what he said, that was one of my favorites. Of like, I believe it was Albert Einstein, right? That
mm.
by 18 we have a set of prejudice.
Yeah. So that's in the book where he's quoting Albert Einstein. Yeah, that by the age of 18, yeah, we have a set of beliefs, a set of how we interpret the world, and I would believe it's true. It takes work to undo a lot of what we've learned, a lot of what we've been programmed to believe as truth.
Yep.
And one of the things I was like programmed to believe as truth is like anything that questions this God that most religions talk about is going to be demonic. And so playing with anything or trying to learn about anything outside of whatever religion you practice or grew up practicing or learned about, whatever, if you try to learn outside of those domains, then you're going to go to hell, or you're demonic, or it's bad, like don't, or just really taught fear around it. So even when we came across the book and he was like, well, let's just try to read it, I had that feeling of like, oh no, is this gonna be demonic? Is something weird gonna happen? And I didn't feel that. I mean, I thought that, but when I actually like listened to my body and listened to my spirit, and I do pray, I do believe in a God, I believe in the prayer of technology as a technology, and even thinking about it, I do believe it's a simulation. But my understanding for myself right now is like this simulation was created by someone, and I call that creator God. But beyond that, I think it's like fair game. And so learning how I was feeling about reading this book, I was like, oh, This is just one man's interpretation of this game we call life, and there is a lot of value in it.
Right. Well, if you are a follower of Jesus, if you believe in are yeah, if you're a Christian or believe that Jesus' teachings are true and positive for your overall being, then you would understand that he was a mystic who sought out knowledge. He didn't just say, this is my religion. And in fact, he didn't even want to create a religion. He's not saying, like, you guys need to follow this religion. He's saying that this is what I've learned, this is what I've shared, and this is how I found peace and a positive frequency. And I want you guys to understand this Christ consciousness.
Yeah.
And so for me, this is, yeah, it just dives deeper into that knowledge and it kind of takes the blinders off of the typical religion of like, this is life. There's more out there. And so
Yeah.
a knowledge seeker, that's what I would say Christ was.
Yes. And I've experienced the same thing with other books that I've read. Like I dove into A Course in Miracles. I dove into energy medicine books. I've dove into a lot of different spiritual books, like a lot of the common ones, Eckhart Tolle. Yeah. And none of them ever felt like they were contradicting the Bible. Maybe contradicting religion and Christianity, but never contradicting the Bible, which I think is also another really good spiritual text. So my belief is that most of these texts are interpretations of like the same story, like the same song in different notes, in different harmonies.
That's what's interesting about this book though, because they actually kind of
Okay, I will say this book is a little different.
they deny any Abrahamic text, and I forget the word they use, but very much about like it's more science based. It's more like there's theories or there's ways that you can prove what they're saying, and not to say that there isn't certain things in the Bible that has been proved as well, but a lot of it is kind of like just have faith, just believe that this text happened and this is the truth. And that's where this book's a little bit different, where they try and more so, explain it mathematically and scientifically.
Yeah. So it's like on one hand you have religion, and they talk about this in the book, where you have religion that teaches blind faith, like just believe, and if you don't believe, then that's something wrong with you. And then this book is more of like, no, we need to approach it with logic and reasoning and math. And I would say that is one thing it's a good book. I'm getting a lot out of it. I would say that's one thing I probably disagree with when it comes to this man that wrote the book. I'm assuming it was one man that wrote this book. Is I don't think it has to be either or.
Right.
I don't, or I guess I should say it doesn't have to be extreme in both directions. Like, no, don't walk with blind faith. Like, you have logic and reasoning for a reason. And then when you're looking at the math and the science and the proof of things, sometimes there is that faith-based pool that actually gets us to learn even more. So I think you need both.
What I would say is whatever is giving you the power, where you're not giving your power away.
Yeah.
And whatever that is, whatever that looks like for you. And I think from both, like you said, from the Bible, from this book, from many different books, you can gain internal knowledge, internal insight to give you power, to give you more energy and more, just positive experience in life.
Yeah.
And that's, for me, that's what I seek is like, I'm not going to agree with everything, and no one's going to agree with everything. We're all going to have our biases. We're all going to have our opinions. If you guys want to get into this, the only thing is I don't know if people can access this.
Yeah, we were randomly given this book through a PDF, and I don't know if we're allowed to share it, but
yeah, it's kind of weird. It's almost like
are we gonna get in trouble for even sharing it now? Who knows?
I don't know.
Maybe we'll cut out the name of it.
Right.
Like, we're reading this book. Bleep.
Yeah. True. That's actually a good point.
Yeah.
Bleep bloop.
Bleep bloop. Yeah, I love what you said too, of like, we're all gonna have our own biases and different perspectives, because everybody's born into this life, the simulation, with different playing cards, like a different upbringing, different things. And so
we're all on our own journey at a certain place in the journey, and it's really good to understand and see where people are at and not try to push them into where you're at, because we're all on our own journey.
Yeah, and I think it's healthier for yourself and for others to be able to connect with other humans is to be open to how other people are experiencing faith and spirituality, or logic and reasoning behind, like, why are we even here, know? Because we, like, at the end of the day, none of us really truly have the answers. And I would say that's where things get messy and unfair, where is when you are so certain that the way you believe in reality is the only way, because that's not fair to yourself, really, and it's not fair to other people that have different life experiences.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're so rigid in certain aspects, it's like a dam. It's like a dam for the flow of energy
Yeah.
and new energy to come in. It's just like this is the way I am set on this, and it can block you from connection. Which is sad. We all need connection. We all need human interaction, or else you start to feel very lonely and get into depression and get into some dark spaces. So
Yeah.
don't be afraid to share where you're at.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, I mean, I would say I struggle with that piece too because I have like Christian roots. Like I would say like, I didn't grow up Christian, I didn't grow up religious. I think my parents were very much offended by religion at young ages for themselves. So they wanted to raise me and my sister very like just this is the material world, nothing in spirituality, right? And my first encounter with spirituality or believing in life beyond just the material world, it was Christianity for me. It was Jesus, it was reading the Bible. And I went through this whole like spiritual journey of exploring beyond that. And now I find myself coming back to those same roots. But for me personally, like what I was sharing earlier, it's all sharing the same thing. And so when I hear these concepts of like, yeah, be open to evolving whatever your beliefs are, to me, it's like because God is always doing a new thing. Like that's a Bible scripture where it's like God is always doing something new. So if you're holding onto a story of a God from the past, then you're not following God. You're following a stagnant image of God that you created, like an idol, which is a problem in the Bible often.
Yeah, my experience with religion is I basically went to Catholic school my whole life until seventh grade was my first year in public school, and that was quite a shift. And one thing that I loved going to mass. It was very peaceful. It was my meditation, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. But in the teachings, like in religion class, even at a young age, I was just like, this is a lot of mumbo jumbo. There was just a lot of silliness that didn't resonate with my being. And I think there is a lot of that out there where people are trying to benefit from spiritual teachings and trying to be a leader in this space of like acting like they know it all. They got all the spiritual answers. And there is a lot of good too. There's a lot of positives you could take, but I do think that, there is just a lot of fluff and a lot of mumbo jumbo that may not really resonate with you. And that's part of the journey of like you know,
Yeah,
deciphering what is meant for your journey.
that's a good point because I think that mumbo jumbo is where the humanness gets jumbled in like the sacredness. And so whatever text you're reading, because I would say the same thing with this book that we're reading. I don't know if I'm gonna say the name. This book that we're reading, it's like one man's interpretation of like the meaning of life, right? And a lot of what he says I would 1,000% agree with him. And then there's a lot that he says that feels like the mumbo jumbo fluff of like, oh, you could tell this is like from my perspective of reading the book, it's like he sounds angry, like maybe had some church hurt or something. But that doesn't mean that what he's experiencing on the spiritual side, on the sacred side, isn't real. It's just there's like humanness that's also coming out because he was a human.
Yeah.
And so this is why we can't ever make a god out of another person based on their spiritual understanding, right? Like you can learn from other people and you should learn from other people, but you don't worship the other person. You don't make them your god or your guru. Definitely. Or you can honor them and respect them for their knowledge, but they're also still human.
Yeah, when you said that, it made me think about sports and how it's one of the silliest things to me that grown men wear another man's last name on their back and they pay a lot of money to go and watch that grown man play and cheer for him for hours and idolize him kind of like a god. And it's really, and maybe I'm kind of ranting here, but it's like the modern day gladiator, like these football stadiums, all the sports. And not to say sports is bad. I mean, it's amazing. Like to be able to have athletic things in this life is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful expression of humanity. But to your point of the idolizing and the God complex, I think it's a little bit interesting that people get so caught into that, and they may not even realize that they're like, oh my gosh, they're like giving so much of their power away to cheer on a moment for someone else's success. And that's fine and all, but just make sure to cheer for your own success too, to that same intensity.
Well, because even what the book shares is that like becoming godlike, becoming like God, and a lot of spiritual texts actually teach that same thing. And I think that's a worthy cause for humanity is to become like God. I think that is our calling is to be more and more like God and do our part as humans to be more like God. And so even thinking about like the person that recommended this book to us, he's very disciplined in his sport, right? And is like really good at his sport. And so like we can love him and honor him and respect him for the discipline and effort he put into becoming the man that he is, a godlike version of him in his craft, I would say. But he's still a human that we love as a human, you know? And so we can honor and we should do that, I think, with humans, is like really honor and respect when someone pushes past their normal human potential to become godlike in whatever field, right? Like it could be in acting, or it can be in dancing, or it can be in sports, and you still love them as a human. Does that make sense? I'm explaining that right?
Absolutely.
Like I think it should be both, where it's like you're not idolizing them, but you respect and honor where they've stepped into their godlikeness.
Yes, yes. Where they put in that work. That's the difference between ego and confidence. I mean,
Yeah.
when you're confident, you've put in the work. Like you know you're meant to be there. There's no doubts. There's no, compensating. You have put in the work, and that is like you're saying, that is the godlike essence, and that should be celebrated.
Yeah.
But again, don't give all that power to one person. You got to also give that to yourself.
These people should inspire us. Like even listening to this should, hopefully, I would hope that it like pulls you to figure out where your own godlike essence is, because I think that's the whole point of the book.
That is the main goal, the main takeaway is
Oh yeah,
to
Illuminati, illuminate.
illuminate yourself, exactly, enlighten your being, and reach a state of godlike essence.
Yeah, and it's I believe an opportunity for every single human.
Oh yeah.
Like all of us are here to do that. Will everybody do it?
This life is what we created to be.
Yeah.
The thoughts, even just the thoughts that you have in your mind, those literally translate to how your cells react in your body. So
Which is scientifically proven.
Scientifically proven. So that's why it's so important to make sure your thoughts are on point and you're waking up and you're practicing the right thoughts and not getting stuck in a loop of negative thoughts. And it's a practice.
Yeah.
It's a daily practice.
Yeah. That's actually a good practical tip, is what you have to first start noticing where your thoughts are going. That's like the first step, is becoming aware of those thoughts. And then when you become aware of them, sometimes you could stay in a negative spiral loop because you're like, oh no, now I'm thinking bad thoughts. I shouldn't be thinking that. And so now it's like perpetuating the negative thoughts. But to change them is to get back into a place of love and gratitude.
Yeah. Every night and morning, you should wake up.
And throughout your day when you catch it. But yes.
Well, just to set the tone
Mhm.
because at night when you're going to sleep, when you have that energy of gratitude, it sets the tone and sets you up for the next day. You can go to sleep happy and knowing that, oh my gosh, my life is so beautiful. I have so much to be grateful for. And so you wake up with that energy. You wake up excited. You're like, my life is great. I have so much to be grateful for. And if you can continue that practice, day and night, before you go to bed and when you wake up, that is a huge shift. Huge shift. Because of course you're going to be able to focus. It's easier to focus on negative things and all the crap in the world. It's constantly being shot at.
Yeah.
Through social media, through
It's kind of like I would
others
argue. Yeah, I would argue.
you.
Not me.
No,
Just
saying, like, yeah, no.
I would argue like that's like the state of our simulation is negativity. And so the healing work or the consciousness work is to bring back the positivity and the light and the gratitude, illuminate the world.
Exactly. Step back into that light.
Yeah.
Exactly. But at the same time, the darkness is necessary for us to understand and appreciate the light.
Right. Amen.
That is what creates the balance. If it was all light, then what is there? What is there to learn?
Yeah, that's true.
So appreciate the darkness too. You can be grateful for that. But when you allow it to take over and you're like upset about it or mad about it, then you're
fighting it. Oh, I shouldn't be feeling this.
Resisting it. Exactly. Then you're getting out of flow, and you're getting stuck in, like you said, a basically loop of negativity.
True.
So yeah, even the darkness, even the dark moments, even if I drop my phone, break my phone, thank you. This was meant to happen.
What a pleasure.
This happened for something, and I'm going to find out what it is. But thank you. And if you can get to that space, that mindset, it's a beautiful place. It's enlightenment. That is enlightenment.
Yeah. And it's true. I've had moments like that too, where you can kind of create the next step. So like, oh, I cracked my phone. Thank you. I did feel like maybe it was time to get a new phone. And I'm grateful that I have the ability to get a new phone right now. And thank you for this phone that I've had,
Yeah.
And like moments like that where you thought it was a bad, you can actually create the reality of where it worked out for your good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, anything can happen at any time. You can get in a car wreck, you can get hit by a car, you can roll your ankle on a hike. I mean, anything can
Did
happen
you
at
roll your
any
ankle
time.
coming out?
No, I did trip on a rock,
Yeah.
but didn't hurt anything. But I mean, just to share, and I don't know if we'll share this portion, but maybe eventually. But from my experience, my mom was shot and killed, shot in the head and killed like that. And that instantly flipped my entire world. And, I could sit around and be sad all the time. I could, and I do, I miss her a lot, physically, but spiritually and energetically, she's with me every day. And it's a matter of me, connecting that, like still keeping that relationship strong through my presence, her presence with me. But yeah, I mean, anything can happen, and it's really how do you react after that is what kind of creates your life. 90% of the action afterwards, because there's always going to be some shit that's going to happen. Shit's going to go down. It's inevitable part of life.
Yeah.
But how do I react to it?
You're so strong.
You get to choose. Yeah, thank you.
You did that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Life is a journey.
Do you
Every
feel
day.
like, and we don't have to share this if we don't want to, but
No,
do
I'm
you
a,
feel like it, like when did you flip the switch? Because there is a normal process of grief, like that you're sharing.
yeah.
Like no vibe is bad, no feeling is bad, so the grief itself is not necessarily bad. Oh, did you go into that grieving period knowing that, feeling that,
For
or
me, I
do you think
was,
you saw the
yeah, for
switch?
me, well, for sure, like right away, like there was just a lot of emotions, because it was just so sudden, it was so unexpected, and for me, I really wanted to be there for my family, make sure that they were all good. So I kind of put my own emotions aside, and I wasn't really in tune with my emotions. Truly, like I wasn't as balanced in the feminine energy as I am now. It's been a serious process to get to this point, and I almost was like emotionally a little bit, yeah, not all there. Um, but because it was shut down in me as a child, and so it's been a whole journey to understand myself emotionally and the feminine side. But really, it hit me like a tsunami about 2 years later after she was killed. All the emotions just smashed over me. And now there's still like little ripples and little waves of just like, not being able to see her and have a conversation with her face to face in person, makes it tough, when you have those emotional days, those emotional times where you want some advice from a motherly figure. But I've learned to, and this is important for every man, I feel, to be able to understand how to be your own mother and not have to reach out to a feminine energy, but have that within yourself where you know that you can regulate your emotions, you can understand your emotions, and you can be able to move forward, with a positive mindset. And that takes practice. It's not overnight, and it's been a journey for me. But that's essential as a man to be able to get to that place where no matter what, emotionally, that you're going to be good, you're going to be well taken care of because you are taking care of yourself. But yeah, I really 2 years after she was killed, it was just like all the emotions. I really felt the weight of it, the most intensely at that time.
Wow.
I think it's because I was getting more in tune with my emotions and I was not distracting myself as much anymore. I think it just and it was when we were making the movie, when Carson and I were making the movie. It was right near the end of that. So
Yeah, they made a documentary.
we did. That honestly that helped me heal a lot. It was a lot of work. It was hard work. I'd never created anything like that before. And I know it was a lot of work for Carson too. And we put our heart and soul into that. But it definitely, I think it helped a lot of people heal, and it definitely helped me heal. So that was full circle back to what we were talking about. I could have sat around and just felt sad or, uh, you know, complained about it all, but that was my way of giving back. That was my way of bringing light to that darkness because it was extremely dark. I mean, people experience shit that no one should ever have to experience, and no one should ever have to die that way. No one should be killed enjoying a concert and celebrating life that way. It's sickening. But again, shit happens. I can't go back and change it. You can only move forward. And so it's your choice how you move forward. You get to take those steps.
Yeah.
But know that you're not alone. You can get help. There's people that will help you.
Really beautiful. I'm really trying hard not to cry. because you are very strong. And I didn't know Kaden at that time, but I know what it feels like to go through that really dark night after heavy grief. And if you're in that that state of distracting yourself, it's normal, there's no right way to handle grief. There's no right way to handle when life really, really throws random shit at you. That trauma is real. And what's so beautiful and so empowering is that, like what he said, it is a choice, because I work with seniors, and there's not one person that gets out of this life without something that hits them at some point. And there's seniors that they're still stuck in that one story that happened 30 years ago, 10 years ago, 40 years ago, and that thing that really took them out. And it I get it. It's hard. And you, of all people, you get it. You can stay in that loop for the next 30, 40 years and be justified in it, right? And I would argue that if you can choose differently, then it'll be different. It'll be better.
Yeah.
More beautiful.
It's just back to what you make it. What you make it.
I'm so proud of you, friend. You're so amazing.
Love you.
So amazing. And I do believe this is going to help people. This is only our 3rd episode, and
oh yeah,
wow.
Well,
and that's what we'd want, is to know that it's helping someone.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I honestly money, status, those kind of things. I feel like it's a frequency that no longer resonates in my being. Now it's really about enlightenment. It's about raising conscious levels, helping others get to a state in a place of peace within their own being. Because why not?
Yeah.
Why not be at a place of peace?
Yeah. And the older you get, the more you do experience it, either on your own for yourself, or you witness it in other people. There's people that have money and they're spiritually dead, they're miserable. And then you have people with great status, and same thing, they're just so miserable, they're so anxious, and that fear of losing it. And when you can just have peace, and it's a practice, having peace regardless of where you're at, then it's having money, great. Not having money, great. Having status, great. Not having status, nobody knows who you are, great. All of it is just great. That is spiritual
Alignment.
Alignment. Illuminated.
There it is. Become illuminated. Become one with the light.
You want with the light.
Start
you want
floating.
with all of it.
Oh. Hugs. People, hug your loved ones. This is a public service announcement. Hug your loved ones, okay? 5-10 times a day, at least. At least. Even if it's a stranger, it doesn't have to be a loved one. Hug someone.
Let's see where we're at. I feel that was so good.
My butt is numb.
We're keeping that.